Hi, this is Shawn. Welcome to my channel. I am the Divine Feminine Abolitionist, and we are free. Happy Self Care Sunday. Um, this is another scrub. I have another scrub on my channel too. But a lot of times when people talk about washes and cleanses and scrubs in terms of spiritual alchemy, they talk about it from the essence of repelling. And the first one that I did was about the sense of repelling. And this particular scrub is when I the first one that I offered was for the new moon. And in that new moon, you were letting go of all the things that no longer serve and going and grasping all the things that you wanted. So, in this, as the moon is waxing and we're tapping into that energy, into the energy of the portal of the Lion's Gate 88, is this energy of manifesting the things that we want. So, in cleansing ourselves, we want to cleanse ourselves to be in a space of receiving the things that we want. So that doesn't just start in your mind, it starts with your body as well, because your body is like the biggest antenna to connect, one of the biggest outside of your mind and your heart. um, and the things that you say, if you have the ability to speak, and the things, I mean, all of us, I feel like, have a means of communication, but it's all not always verbal. We have some people who walk the planet who don't use spoken language as a way to communicate. So, however you communicate is, a receptor, an antenna between you and spirit. So, in terms of the body being a receptor and collecting energy and emitting energy, how do we use our skills as alchemists? Because, people use the word magic, they use the word manifestation, they use the word hoodoo, voodoo, witch, whatever language people pray and manifest, whatever the words that are used. But basically, what it is alchemy. It is moving energy from, or one consciousness from one state of mind to transmuting it into something that it transmutes into something with much more value, um, and something that serves a higher frequency. So, this scrub is just that. It is a cleansing, manifesting magnet scrub. And it's like you're magnetizing and you're trying to attract all of the things that you want to attract in this energy. And it doesn't just mean physical things that you want to attract. It also means the consciousness that you want to hold on to. You want to attract a consciousness of positivity. You want to attract a consciousness of peace in all situations. You want to contract the a person who abides by spiritual laws, and that you are in knowledge of what those spiritual laws are, because so many people are in violation of spiritual laws that they don't even know. They're just experiencing the consequences of the violation and don't even understand why. So one of the biggest violations, or the process of that alchemy, is the things we think and the things that we speak. If you think from a certain consciousness, then you experience life from that way. One of my greatest teachers, Dr. Wayne Dyer, out of Detroit, Michigan, he was very often quoted as saying, what you see, you will see differently. You will begin to see something differently when you believe differently. You will experience it differently when you change the way you're believing about it. You will see it differently. And I found that to be true in my life so much. Like when I can be obsessive with my thoughts and obsess over experiences that are having, and a lot of it would be projected out to other people because of their behavior and how it's affecting me. And I recently come to learn is, when you get to a certain point, you do realize in life that you cannot change other people. You can only change your response to them. And if you give people the power to have rent-free space in your mind. Trust me, people are squatters. They don't have any problem with their behavior affecting you negatively, because a lot of people feed off of other people's confusion, other people's frustration, other people's angst, other people's angry, other people's fear, false evidence appearing real. They feed off of that. And, it's a succubus kind of cycle. And they don't realize that energy that they're projecting onto other people is what they keep attracting into their lives. A lot of times people can't even see it because they get blinded by things and distracted by positions and consciousness. But they have to keep it up like obsessively in order to feed it. It's a monster. They don't have peace. What I've realized about people who affect other people negatively, they don't have peace. They can't get into a place of peace, and they need a lot. They need a lot of attention in order to feel alive or to feel anything, because most of the time they just go through life numb. But it is what it is, and that's not our energy. That's not our focus. My whole point was to say that you can circumvent that energy. You can't control what other people do, but you can control your response. And one of the tools, here are the tools of the seven, because the thing about life is I'm learning is that life will show up as weapon or tool. And it's up to you. It's like what your consciousness decides. Are you going to see this as weapon, or are you going to see this as tool? So with, some of the energy I get in my life, I decide to choose it as this is a tool for me to chisel out my own divinity. These people are doing whatever they're doing, but what this actually is a tool for me to chisel out my divinity. And one of the tools that I use is when I'm experiencing something that I don't particularly care for, I remind myself that everything blesses me. The second thing I do is I use what I have to put myself in a space of remembering that everything blesses me. Okay, this scrub, for instance, I gave coffee to my ancestors this morning, and I brewed it, and I used the coffee grounds, which people generally would throw away, and it's a very old hoodoo practice to use coffee grounds in different types of practices and different ways of alchemizing. But I use the coffee grounds, I use brown sugar, I used honey, I used turmeric, which are all very potent ingredients from the earth, of magnets of attraction, of good attraction. And I set my attention for this particular scrub about what I am manifesting with it. And here I'm going to add some bay leaves, and I'm going to add some almond oil to this a little bit. And so what I do with the bay leaves, and I want to note that I got this particular tool from Spiritual TT, who I was referred to by Mystic Beauty. And if any of you are like from my older channel that I had to delete, you already know that my affinity for Mystic Beauty, and that she was the catalyst that helped me on my journey, evoking, helping me to embrace my dark night of the soul and to ascend spiritually into Empress energy. But anyway, Spiritual Teaching taught me this tool of you write what you want on the bay leaves, and then you burn them. And I'm not going to put that on camera because it's between me and spirit, but you do that, and it is a very powerful tool. It is a very powerful resource. Mind you, I want to be clear about alchemy. A lot of times people use tools of alchemy to influence other people, or like say there's a woman on your job and you want her position. So you might say, for her to get fired. That's a counterproductive way for you to use your alchemy, because whatever you are hoping for somebody else, that energy, even if it happens to that person, that energy eventually is going to come back for you, because whatever you sense, that's how powerful the universe, and it works in reciprocity is one of the tenets of universal law. What you send out, it comes back. So my experience is, unless you want to bless somebody, then you don't include them in this alchemy process, and you don't tap into anybody else's energy, because these things are about you and they're between you and spirit, and you try to keep them that way. And even if your focus is I want love, don't put a specific person, even if you have a specific person in mind, especially if that person is already tethered to somebody else, because you're going to bring that karma, that relationships karma, all of that into your energy. And the thing that you really want is, you want a love that is pure, that is manifesting just for you, a love that is ready for you to show up for you, if that's the thing that you're trying to manifest. And that's with everything. Always do it with the affirmative, you know, I'm open to receive all the money I can spend. You don't have to, and if you're not really into labor, don't say, I want to get the ideal job. Just say, I am open to receive the ideal means of income and self-sufficiency, because that can happen in a myriad of ways. It doesn't have to show up as a job. Like, we're not workhorses, and the original plan for us was not labor and labor until the days of our lives. That was a consequence of um ego. Ego happened and ego evolved, and because we trusted ego more than we trusted divine intelligence, that was one of the consequences of it. So there's the scrub, and I hope you're having a good Sunday. And I don't give like amounts of, I'm old school. It's like, use what you feel when you're making these scrubs for yourself. Use what you feel, and use it as, like you would soap, and put it all over your body, and then you use water to rinse it off. If you have a little bit of elderberry water, which I do, or Florida water, you can put some of that into. But because those both work as repellents and magnets as well. So anyway, because it's about protecting, so you're protecting the thing that you know is assigned to you. And trust and believe this: whatever is for you will not pass you by, especially when you're vibrating high. Because if it passed you by at one time, then when it's out there in the universe, then it's getting caught up in some energy of multiplicity. So it's going to come to you, multiplied, and bless you even more. So just thank you for tuning in, and peace and blessings.